Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing some 5x5 example solves with the Hoya method. 5x5 is my best event and I very much hope that some nice cases come up where I can show some pretty cool tricks that I know. These are all hand scrambles. I'm just going to be doing cross edges in this video and I'm going to be solving on white only. So straight in, the first thing I see is this nice block here, which is really nice, and I can see the other edge here, so pretty no-brainer. I'm just going to insert those like that. The next thing I see, I probably see blue because I can see these two pieces in the U layer and this one down here, and I know that blue needs to go this side, so I definitely want to flip this this piece somehow. And so if I just did something like L prime D F prime, that puts this piece here, and this isn't a bad case necessarily, but what I noticed, obviously this F move is going to change the orientation of some of the pieces. And so we've got currently one wing oriented and one misoriented. So instead of forcing both of them to be oriented, I would force both of them to be misoriented. So I would move the oriented piece here before I do the F move, so that I then get 2 3 movers to solve just like that. So from here, again, I would do the F move. Then I've got these two pieces here. It doesn't matter which order I do them in. I'd probably just do this one first because that's the one, we focused on. And so then we've got this nice edge solved there. Next up, I can see this green piece, but I know that this isn't the green slot it needs to be in. So I'm going to do orange next because I can see that piece. Actually, before I do that F move, if I see this piece here, I would bring it up so that when I do the F move, it's going to be oriented in the U layer, which is generally quite nice. And then the other piece is down here. That's a bit unfortunate. But if we just bring it up like this, instead of bringing it all the way to the top, if we just bring it up one slot, then we can set these two up opposite each other in just 3 moves with F, U2, F prime. And now we're set up for 3L wide prime, U2, 3L wide, just like that. And then onto our last edge is green. I can see we've got a wing here, so I'm just going to go ahead and solve that straight away. We've got our midge in the back, and then our other wing in the back here. Whenever this piece is in the back slot and the midge, is in the U layer like this, I know I'm just going to end up inserting them separately because, it's not too bad. That's the fastest solution for me. But before I do a U2, because, in the doc I have all of these cases with the midge in UF specifically, it's 4 moves from here, but it's also 4 moves from here. So I'm just going to insert it in 4 moves like that, and then solve this last piece with the R wide 2 trick. Okay, so next up we have this, and straight away I can see 2 orange pieces. One of them's already solved, which is quite nice. The other one is just 4 moves away, which is also quite nice. And the other piece is back here. And so what I'm going to do is I am probably just going to insert them separately because we have so much freedom. We don't have to, undo a move. If we bring this to the U layer, we have nothing else solved. So I'm just going to insert them separately like that. And actually in this case, because it's in the back left slot and it needs to go on the left, we can do an R2, and that's going to set up to this 3 mover here. And as I'm doing that, I see this green block, which I'm definitely going to want to do next. That's not going to move when I insert this, so I'm just going to do 3 mover like that. And I can actually see the other green piece here. So instead of just doing, flipping it in the same way as I might have done, in the last time I showed that, what I'm actually going to do, because these two are opposite each other, I'm going to solve this piece and bring this to the U layer, just like that. So now when we insert green, it's just 4 moves, and that's really nice. Next up, I saw 2 blue pieces, but I can see these red down here, and so this is really nice. I'm definitely going to want to do this. I'm just going to pair these 2 up in the U layer, and when I do that, this piece is going to stay oriented. This is going to be flipped and end up in the front, and then when I insert it, this is going to end up back in the front, but this piece is going to move to over here. So I'm looking around and I'm seeing this as the last edge, and I'm thinking there's a similar thing that I can do here that I showed you actually in the first cross edge of the last example, I think. So yeah, that's going to be really nice. I'm able to completely track these last 3 pieces when I'm doing this because this is a really nice case. So we're going to solve them just like that. That's what it looks like there. And then insert the block. And then we have these 2 pieces here. And it's actually very, very similar to the case I showed you before. So here though, the thing is, if I were to misorient this piece when I flip this and put it down here, it's going to end up in this slot. And this is not a 3 mover. So actually, I don't think I want to do that necessarily. What I'm going to do instead is just move them both out of the way, because obviously I don't want both wings to be oriented. That's not very good. But the spot they're in now is not too bad. So when I move this up, I'm going to do just a U prime like that to move them away, and then solve the midge. And in this case, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can slice this piece in from here, which then misorients this. But I think for me, a faster solution is actually to set up to, in this case, 3L wide prime U2 3L wide, because as we can see, we've got these two pieces are both oriented, which is nice. They're just, the wrong way around. We want the midge in the U layer and this piece solved. So we can do that with an F2, but obviously these also need to be opposite each other. So while we're doing sort of in the middle of the F2 move, we can do just an F, and then we can do a U to put this other wing in the back, and then finish with another F, and then we've just got the 3-move insertion. Okay, now here's the next one, and again I'm seeing pretty nice stuff. I'm seeing all 3 orange pieces, which is nice. I don't want to solve this one first, the midge, because if I do just an R2 like that, then one piece gets stuck in a back slot, which we don't want. And also I can see that if I solve this piece with an F, these 2 pieces are now just 2 moves in total away for being set up opposite each other, with the midge oriented and the wing misoriented. So then I can do a nice 3R wide U2 3R wide prime to solve them. I'm not seeing too much now. I can see 2 red pieces. I can see both of the wings, and I can't see anything. This could be the red midge, or it could be this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to solve this piece first, just like that with an F2. Not ideal, but it's fine. And I'm just going to have to check the back slots, and it's actually this piece. And this is a lot nicer because, again, as you can see, we've got the midge oriented and this wing misoriented. So they're just simple setup. I don't need to undo that move because there's no solved cross edge here. 2 moves away from 3R wide U2 3R wide prime again. Now, the next thing I can see, we've got this green piece down here, but this is going to need to be the blue slot. So I think I'm going to do blue first, because then that will kick this piece out, which is going to be, a more efficient way of doing it. So I can see we've got this piece and this piece here, and I actually know from looking at it before that this is the blue midge. Yeah, I think the best way to do this is just going to be to solve this piece first, like that, because then I know I've now got nothing in the back. We've got this midge here, which is misoriented, so I'm going to want to orient it, but first I want to put this wing opposite to it, so this needs to go in the front. Just do 1 B move to orient it like that, and then we can just do U2 and the same 3-move insertion again. Now I know with green, I know we need to do a D2, so I'm going to do that straight away, and actually this piece is solved here, which is nice. And then this case, again, there's a couple of different ways you can do it, so I'll show you the obvious ones. So we can set up to the 3-move insertion again by doing just an F2 to solve the wing, and then this is just 4 moves away. Instead, we could do an F2 and then just solve this straight away, and then this becomes a 3-mover, so that's actually 1 move more efficient. But the solution I like most for this is solving these 2 pieces together and keeping the midge solved. And the way you can do that, if you imagine we brought this piece up to the U layer, this is a nice influencing case where if we insert this piece as normal, this is going to get flipped. And that's going to end up here. So then when we undo it, it's going to end up here. And this will be a 3-mover, but we can actually cancel into that. And so the way that we need to do this is with wide R and wide L moves, which could be a little bit awkward to execute, but I think with a little bit of practice, it can be really fast still. So instead of just an R, I'm going to do a wide R here. Then I'm going to insert this like that. That flips this piece. And now it's just 2 moves away from bringing it back down and being solved. Okay, next up, I can see straight away, I can see all of the orange pieces, which is quite nice. I could solve this straight away and then puts this here. And then if I bring this up to the U layer, then we've got quite a nice case like that, which I'd be very tempted to do. The other thing you could do is to solve this piece first by bringing it up and then doing an F move. And then you have these 2 pieces, which are both really short inserts. And that's probably what I would have gone for. So just like that. And then instead of doing a move like that and inserting it in 4 moves, I would have seen this blue piece and it's oriented. But if I just do R wide U2 R wide prime from here, that's going to flip it. It's going to become misoriented. So I'm going to do that because misoriented wings are much nicer in general. And now I can see all of the blue pieces, so I'm definitely going to want to do those. If I solve this piece and keep both of these in the U layer, then this is a really, really nice and really fast case that I can do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move these two out of the way first, so that they stay in the U layer. Then I'm going to bring this blue piece down here, bring it to the front, and then this case, it starts off from this angle with the midge in the back and the wing over here. And I'm going to pair up the pieces like that in the back, and then I'm just going to insert them just like that in 3 moves. So now I can see these 2 red pieces, and I can see this one in the back as well. That's not ideal positioning there, but there's a nice way that we can approach this. So if I bring an unsolved slot to the front, if I pair these 2 pieces up in the U layer, because currently, you know, they're not in an amazing position, but if I pair them up like this is really nice. We've got this block now, and because I know this piece is in a back slot, I can insert these with just outer layer moves. But before I do this last move, I can cancel into the 5 mover of inserting that. And so that was quite nice. And now we've got our last green pieces here. And I think probably the best general approach here is to, when you've got 3 pieces all in the same side, all in different slots, you want to put the empty slot, in this case, in the back. So I would just do that, and then I can do a D move to bring to the front. And actually this has worked out really, really well, I can see, because when I solve this piece in 1 move, this midge is going to get oriented, and then we've got a really nice 2-gen setup to the 3 move trigger again. All right, let's do one more. The first thing I see is these 2 orange pieces, which are flipped. So that's not amazing, but we can see that this other piece is already solved in the D layer down here. So actually we can just go ahead and solve these straight away, and that's pretty good. What I'd be tempted to do before that is to bring this green piece down here relative to the orange, because then it puts the other 2 in the U layer, which is really nice. They're going to stay in the U layer in the front slots. So I'm going to go ahead and solve these, and I'll keep in mind this block as well. There you go. So that was basically just solving the midge cancelled into solving the wing. And so then I've got these 2 pieces. I'm going to want to solve that block before I do anything else. And here, this is actually a really, really fun trick to execute. It comes up relatively often. So we've got 1 wing solved here, the other wing misoriented in the U layer, and the midge stuck in the front right slot. And because it's here, it's not a 3 mover away. And generally these aren't amazing cases, because, you know, you could do an R and then set up, you know, to that insertion. It's a little bit awkward to do. But what I found you can do instead is if you put this in the back and then do an F prime set up to the 3 move trigger, that does break this piece up, but you can actually cancel into inserting it. So from this angle, you put this piece in the back, and then this case becomes just like that. Really, really nice, really fast to execute. It's one of my favorite cases. Now, so I can see, obviously we've got this block still preserved here, and I can see that this last wing is in the back. So I am probably just going to get on and solve this in the standard way, because I can see the other 2 wings, they're going to move around, but they're going to stay in the U layer, and that's pretty nice. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move on to my last cross edge, which is blue. And instead of flipping this, which I don't, you know, I could do, it still leaves these 2 pieces here. What I want to do instead is solve the oriented piece first, because that's, you know, quite a nice approach in general. And also, before I bring this to the front, I can actually insert this just straight into the left, which is a lot nicer than doing an F2 finger trick. So I can do U2, L2 like that, and that actually brings us up to a really, really nice case here. Again, I can move this midge to the back, pair them up with 3R wide moves, and then insert the block with 3R wide moves as well. So there you go. I hope this helped. I feel like there's a lot I know for 5x5 that this video definitely hasn't touched on. So I'm going to try and do as many of these example solves and walkthroughs as I can, especially for 5x5, just to show you, you know, whatever comes up. And yeah, hopefully you learned something, and thanks a lot for watching.